working.
About 20 years ago, Ann and I both got down so bad. I was down for over a week, and she was down a week and a half. And then after that, we always had the flu
Yeah.
shots.
All right, do we have other people coming on behalf of? Okay. Well, good morning. I will call this meeting to order. Judy, whenever you are ready.
Mayor Barron?
Present?
Mr. Klinger?
Here?
Ms. Schroeder?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
And Mr. Bjorn?
Here.
Wonderful. If anyone who plans to speak on behalf of a topic today, please stand to be sworn in.
Sorry to hear. Do you affirm that all the testimony and evidence you're about to give in a case before this commission this day will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, and will conform to the facts of the case and the rules of this commission? This you affirm under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Thank you. All right, I have next the approval of the March 12th meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve?
All minutes to approve.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. Judy, whenever you're ready, or do we just, I always forget if we do a roll call,
That one we
switch
usually
back
don't.
and forth. All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, minutes pass. Moving on to tabled items, application for site plan review SP-03-2020 filed by Quality Lines Inc., 2440 Bright Road, Findlay, for 4x320 storage unit buildings and 100 by 140 storage and maintenance building for the utility company's trucks.
Okay, we tabled this last month, of course, and they submitted a revised site plan. The BZA granted a variance to allow a 30-foot setback from the north property line at the March 12th, 2020 meeting. So they've shifted the maintenance building south 20 feet to meet that setback, and the storage unit buildings have also been moved south. And there's no problem, the setbacks and everything are good, so we recommend approval.
All right, I see no comments from engineering or fire prevention. The recommendation from staff recommends approval of the application for site plan review SP-03-2020, and I won't read all the details again of it, but Stan, any other items you wanted to mention on this?
No, basically, kind of your recommendation, you guys felt comfortable with the 30-foot, which would have been a side yard. If that was not a public roadway, we went to BZA, they agreed with you guys pretty much on the 30-foot. So we've adjusted everything to comply with the 30-foot setback along the north property line.
I don't know if anybody else has any comments, but just to make things official, I guess I'll make a motion to remove the item from the table.
Second. All right, we have a motion and a second to remove from the table. My apologies. So, all in favor of removing the item from the table, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so the motion's removed from the table. Does anybody have any other discussion on this item?
Dan, just one little thing. Did that squeeze up your retention area there a little bit by moving things to the south? And you've
By a
got
foot.
just a foot.
Yeah.
And you've got some area there that is going to hold water all the time. Is that correct?
Yeah, with how EPA's water quality now, they want you to have essentially what's called a forebay. So it's a 2-foot hole, a 2 to 3 foot hole that holds water all the time. So any suspended solids or anything that would drain off the parking lot through the storm sewer will sit there. It'll settle out into the bottom, and then technically the clean water goes along the top to the outlet.
Does that end up being kind of a maintenance thing then?
Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
but that's what they're requiring us to do.
Okay.
And since we gotta comply with that, and the city's MS4, so that's why we have that there.
So it's about 2 foot deeper than what the rest of the swale or retention area is.
It's just gonna kind of hold water there the whole time. And like I said, the detention is handled in a regional facility to the south, but unfortunately that was set up prior to the EPA and the city having new regulations for water quality.
Is there a setback requirement how close a pond could be to a property line? No.
To my knowledge, there's no.
Is that fence back there or not?
No.
think
Okay.
we met the
Yeah.
items that we had at the last discussion, and so I'd make a motion to approve.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Judy, whenever you are ready.
Mr. Klinger?
Aye.
Ms. Schroeder?
Aye.
Mr. Garrett?
Aye.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Beard?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Moving on to new items. Petition for zoning amendment ZA-04-2020 filed by G&H Enterprises LLC to rezone lots 1889 to 1894 in the Ports Edition and lots 1369 through 1376 in the Jones and Adam Edition from M2 multifamily high density to R4 duplex triplex high density. CPC staff comments.
Okay, we're on the east side of Western Avenue between Adams and Putnam Streets. It's currently zoned M2 multifamily. To the south and west is R3 single family. To the north is R3 single family and C1 local commercial. To the east is zone C1 local commercial. It's not in the floodplain, and land use plan designates the area as single family small lot. This was the site of the old St. Michael's Catholic School for many years. The school's closed. Since that time, it's been used temporarily as church offices and then leased to a charter school. The buildings were then demolished, and it served as a temporary parking lot. The current owners had the land rezoned to M2 multifamily high density in early 2019. The property owners are requesting to change the zoning to R4 duplex triplex in order to construct duplex or triplex units on the property. In the R4 district, one duplex or triplex is permitted per lot. There are 14 underlying lots on this property. The district requires a minimum frontage of 45 feet and 4,500 square feet of area. All lots as platted in the subdivisions here are 50 feet wide and anywhere from 160 to 170 or deeper. So all of them would exceed the minimum area required. All the lots will need to obtain their own parcel number as they're used again. The church obviously had them combined in a couple of large chunks for tax purposes, I'm sure, but all the underlying lots really were never vacated, they're still there. The subdivision, like I said, was never vacated, but when those were combined in that way, since we require a single lot for a single building, he will need to make sure that they are designated as such when he goes to get permits, that they break them into their own lots. So we recommend approval. I think I sent you email yesterday, just a couple of queries that we had from a couple of the neighbors, and I'd answered their questions, and no one said anything back, so I think they were fine.
All right, thank you. I see no comments from engineering or fire prevention, and as Judy mentioned, the staff recommendation is for FCPC to recommend approval to Findlay City Council of the petition. Do you have any comments you'd like to start with?
Just that, we feel by changing to this approach, it'll actually allow us to build buildings that actually conform to the neighborhood probably more closely the way it exists in the larger buildings. I suppose if some of you folks remember what transpired when we changed the zoning to multiple family, there were a lot of concerns from the neighbors about the size of the buildings, and this will allow us to build a couple units at a time, smaller instead of a large phase, and so we feel we're actually probably improving the situation in the neighborhood as opposed to the large scale development.
Well, I certainly, I think this is a great plan. I think this will be really nice to update that neighborhood. I know we drive past that lot frequently, and I go, oh, I can't wait to see something done with that. So I appreciate you, making that investment and providing more housing in our community and being sensitive to the neighborhood and working to address that. So I didn't have any questions, but I just wanted to say thank you for moving this forward and being adaptable.
Tony, do you have plans at this point? Are they going to be mostly duplex or a mix of duplex, triplex, or?
Well, mostly duplex. There are a couple vacated alleys that we might attach to the lot next to it, and in that case would allow us to do a triplex there. maybe a couple things I might add. I'm actually gonna have more off-street parking with this concept than even was required before. Because behind each duplex, you're required to have 2 spaces, but in effect, I'll have the units would be 20 feet wide, so I'll have a 20-foot wide by 40-foot deep area, which would accommodate 4 parking spaces, or some of them might have a 2-car garage plus parking behind the garage. And then I think one of the comments Judy received from the neighborhood was regarding the vacated alley behind the lots at front on Putnam, and we certainly have before want to work out details so that will definitely be kept available for those folks.
So, but generally in that particular area, your property has half of that alley then, is that correct?
Right.
That's correct.
Yeah. Okay. Do you recall what the unit load was on the previous proposal that you were
The
reading?
number, the
Yeah.
total, well, you could have got up to almost, I think it was 35 or 36 units, is that what you're asking?
Well, but this is 14 lots. If you do triplex, you get up to
Oh,
like
okay.
42
Well,
units.
under multiple family, you could have up to 35. We had originally planned on 33, ended up settling on 30 with the discussions with the neighborhood. So with the 14 lots, would definitely utilize 12 of them. We still have the 2 lots at front on Western that, practically speaking, you know, we probably don't want to get that close to Western. So it would be 24 units on 12 lots plus a couple triplexes due to the vacated alleys, so maybe 26.
Yeah.
So that was another reason to change it. It turns out we really aren't giving up that many more units.
Right, yeah, good. Well, I think this is a nice approach to it too, and I commend you for, you know, bringing this change forward for us to take a look at.
I agree. I only had questions on the parking, but I think you've addressed that, so I'm good.
I'll make a motion to approve as recommended.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Judy, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Schroeder?
Aye.
Mr. Yarmouth?
Hi.
Mr. Thomas?
Aye.
Mayor Marion?
Aye.
And Mr. Klinger?
Aye.
Okay. This will be planning and zoning. I think they got a hold of you, that they're gonna do it by Zoom at the end
Yep.
of today. So
I already tried that, and it looks like I can get on, so.
figured it out? Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, moving on to new item, application for site plan review, SP-07-2020, filed by Service Leaders LLC, 8,146 US 224, New Regal, Ohio, for 3 mini self-storage buildings to be located at 1744 Romick Parkway in Findlay. CPC staff comments.
We're gonna have self-storage units coming out of
I guess.
Everybody wants to build some. We're on the west side of Romick Parkway. It's zone I-1 light industrial. To the north, south, east, and west is also I-1. It's not within a floodplain, and the land use plan designates the area as regional commercial. In October 2018, the city plan approved plans for an industrial building and salt storage here. Only the salt storage building was ever constructed on the site. The applicant is proposing to add 3 self-storage buildings. They're 30 by 180, 30 by 170, and 30 by 220 in size. All setbacks for I-1 are met. The existing curb cut will be used for the access. Pavements proposed around and between all the buildings as required, and there's no lighting other than wall packs on the buildings. So we would recommend approval.
Wonderful. Engineering?
Engineering, I can read those.
I was gonna say, I don't know if Brian wanted to comment on those.
I don't think there's really,
Looks good from engineering's point.
wasn't really anything. And fire prevention, you just want to make sure you maintain access throughout the facility, and if there's any fencing that goes up, that you have sufficient opening for the fire department apparatus.
Wonderful, so the recommendation is staff recommends approval of application for site plan review SP-07-2020 filed by Service Leaders LLC for 3 mini storage buildings to be located at 1744 Romick Parkway, Findlay, subject to the following conditions: maintaining throughout the facility for the Findlay Fire Department and maintaining sufficient opening through the fencing for the Findlay Fire Department. Dan, any questions, comments on this?
My understanding, they're not putting up any fencing at this point, so that shouldn't be an issue. And I think we've already looked at fire access. Obviously, they're maintaining the salt hoop, so their trucks and stuff are going to be kind of going on the north side. So we should have adequate access in and out for them.
Items from the committee?
Just had a quick question. The storage building in the middle,
Mm-hmm.
is that actually butting up to the salt building that's there, or is there a gap there?
Right now,
It's
we're
hard to
showing a
tell.
gap between the two. Whether they throw asphalt, stone, or whatever in between there, but it is not going to attach to it.
Do you know about what the distance might be? My copy's a little hard to read at 8.5 by 11.
No, because I didn't put a dimension in there. If I had to guess, that wing wall's 3.5 foot from the existing salt, so you got probably another 7. So if I had to guess, about 8-10 feet
Okay.
separation.
So the fire trucks could make a loop around the top or a loop around the bottom,
Yeah,
but not pass between them.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
Which should be okay.
unless they want to try to drive through the salt building, but I'm not
Right.
going to tell them.
I'll move to approve.
Second? All right, so we had a motion to approve.
Sorry,
and
who
you said-
seconded?
I seconded.
Okay.
Judy, whenever you're ready.
Okay, Mr. Yarmouth,
All right.
Mr. Thomas,
Aye.
Mayor Mears,
Aye.
Mr. Blinger,
Aye.
and Ms. Schroeder.
Aye.
Easy enough.
All right, and I see we did have 2 administrative approvals that occurred. Were there any other items for the group?
Oh, no,
Okay.
this is on that group.
Just make sure.
Yep.
Any other items for the group, Judy?
We had a couple administrative approvals if you wanted to see what those are.
Do you have them on the screen?
No, I did
Okay.
not. Didn't think to do that, so, but I have them.
All right, with that, the meeting is adjourned.
Stay safe, everybody.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.